Good afternoon, it's high noon, and it's time for a live draw. On the count of three. One, two, three, draw! Ah, pencils. Pens, pencils. It's not that sort of draw. We do not have a draw off. This is just a friendly neighborhood drawing day. As usual. Turn me down, mother. So, it is time to draw. Today I am drawing my character, the Whiz from my comics. He will be. I'm not sure what number of superhero he will be. I think he's supposed to be the sixth book that comes out, but we will. That doesn't matter at the moment. I have his history and all that, so I may let you all know. So I'm going to switch cameras so you can see what I'm drawing and not my ugly face. So here we go. And I have invited some people in. Hopefully they attend. Got the chat up. So I know if you guys are here, what you guys are saying when you say stuff. Okay, so trick here is this guy Wiz is like a 12-year-old kid, maybe 13-year-old kid. You know what? I think I'll start up say 13. So you don't want him to look too old. And you definitely got to make him look like he's having fun. Thirteen-year-old kid with superpowers. Well, he doesn't really have superpowers. It's technology, but makes him seem like he has superpowers. And hopefully we'll get to a little bit on Voltron. I had a good time last night on Muttman's channel. Him and Macho Dan are planning on bringing out a comic again called Hero. Oh, just go downstairs and let whomever in. Oh, hey, model, how are you today? I got to get that information to you. For sure. I'll try and make sure I get it to you today. You can come in if you want. The link's in the normal spot if you've got the time. Good, covered in sawdust. Hey, that's all right. We don't judge here. I have to get cleaned up first. Yeah, no problem. Got a bit, anyways. Be sure to share that out. The link, let know people in here from your end. They have shared it myself on Twitter and Facebook. Not that many people come over from Facebook, but hey, Ortiz, how are you? Shh, be very, very quiet while hunting rabbits. Chilling came to show by to show support. Well, thank you very much, E. Ortiz. E. Ortez. So what's up with you today, Eortaz? Tease? Besides coming by to show some support? What's new and not so interesting? Or what's old and not so interesting? At work. Okay. You have to pay the bills. Yeah. The Billmeister. I wonder what these bill guys do with all this money we give them. David. They pay their bills. Oh yes, Mom. Let him know about a certain other David. Mother. Tell him about Mr. Moore. Well, back to workflow. Okay, have an awesome. Thank you. Well, have a good day at work, E. Yes, it was the first place you worked for that type of place, David. Don't like. Frank told Gord. I can too hear you, just except for when you talk low. I like that foot. That foot is good. This leg sucks. I wouldn't rush home to watch a football game or a baseball game from church. I'm hearing my mom's conversation in the other room with my friend. Uh, I don't know whether you guys can hear it or not. Hopefully not. Oh, we got 3 people watching. Hello to whomever's come in, watching. We're glad to have you here. So tomorrow I'll be drawing somebody from DC. Not sure who at this point. I've exhausted the whole. This arm is giving me trouble. I think we got it now. Okay, I'm gonna redo the hands. You still around there, model? Can you hear me? You coming in? I didn't hear you. You're not model 316. I'm gluing stuff. I am gluing some stuff up. Cool. Gluing, glue, glue, glue. Yeah. So I don't know what to say. Yeah, I will be going. I guess I will be able to get in some Voltron today. Some Voltron action. Because even if I, even with coloring, yes. Make sure we do the cape. Yeah, it works to call out. It doesn't work to call in. Hello, hello. How are you today?
Howdy. Good. How you doing, Rick?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Just got my kids in bed, so
Yeah,
might have a little quiet to work.
cool. Not exactly who I was expecting to come in, but
Oh, okay. Well,
well, hey, I don't mind you coming in. I just more said that because models in the chat and he said about coming in, so I expected him. But you're more than welcome here.
thank you.
Just gotta figure out which yellows I want to use. We'll use that first.
So, what are you working on tonight?
I am doing my character, the Whiz.
And what are his powers?
His powers are technologically based.
Okay.
He is given the knowledge of the 31st century.
Okay.
Um, it's actually his origins are sort of Solomon based.
Okay.
Um, um, God gives, he's faithful to God, so God basically says, "Okay, I'm gonna grant you a wish or a request, like he did Solomon." But because he feels he can get wisdom and all that through friends and well, through reading the scriptures and all that, he decides to say, and he's not too academically good at school. So his kids tease him about God and all that. So he decides, God, give me the knowledge of the 31st century. That way, he gets heads and tails above everybody, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to show God's thing. And then he ends up seeing some crimes being committed and decides to use his newfound knowledge to create a superhero identity.
Well, he's lucky that in the 31st century, human beings didn't make a regression technologically.
Yeah,
It would have been bad if the 31st century was human beings going back to bows and arrows.
yeah, true. I guess I just think too much Star Trek and stuff like that, where we're going to have all this advanced technology, you know,
It's the
or Legion of Superheroes and stuff like
right,
that.
right. Well, I mean, we all do. We all make that mistake. Um, if you look at the time machine, though, they make the opposite assumption. You make the assumption that it starts getting advanced, and then suddenly, oops, human beings, you know them, they mess
Yeah, they
everything up, you know. So
but and he's like one of my major heroes in my universe. And he's like 12, 13, something like that.
uh-huh.
So I figured that would be a cool idea, giving him, like technological based powers. Well,
Sure.
so, you're going to eventually see all kinds of gadgets and gizmos from him.
That's great.
Yeah.
One of my characters in my book is called Technomegas,
Yeah.
and he his powers are technologically based. Obviously he's a really smart guy, and he uses his intelligence to create technology, advanced
Yeah.
technology. And he's actually the one who supplies the armor and stuff for his team. So he and his team all have armor and weapons, and those are all created by Technomagus.
Cool. Yeah, he's gonna slowly, as different heroes appear and his thinking patterns, he's gonna slowly try and upgrade the whole, almost a lot of my universe, you know.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna get too big for his britches, and they're gonna say, "Hey, yeah." He's gonna have the same downfall basically as Solomon. Yeah, or similar, I guess. You know,
Solomon?
basically, yeah. You know, King Solomon. You know,
No, I know. I mean, I'm trying to remember. He died an old man.
yeah. Well, he's not gonna die. What I mean is just, you know, because of his uh, he let the idea of the wisdom that he had from God get to him a little bit.
Okay.
You know, and well, I
Sure.
think anyway. You know, because how many wives did he marry and all that? You know, he did things. You know, like, you know, married all these women from other cultures of the day that you get, as he was told not to. You know,
Well,
so that
the problem was not that he married women he was supposed, because we know from our tradition that he made them, they converted to Judaism before that he married them. The problem is that he married too many women. Like
yeah. Well, there's
a Jewish
yeah.
king is only allowed to have a maximum of 18 wives, and he had a lot more than that.
Yeah, he had like around 1,000. Well, I think it was
Between
700.
concubines, wives, and everything is about 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just in stuff like that that I figure, he walked away. Maybe walked away. I'm not sure how to put it correctly. At least in my opinion, anyways. He walked away a little from what God did. You know, look at Ecclesiastes.
Sure.
You know, he went into all this stuff that he didn't need to. You know, you know, knowing, he should have had wisdom enough to know that, maybe this isn't a good idea.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you bring this up, because I'll tell you that one of the most troubling superheroes for me used to be Captain Marvel. Shazam.
Oh yeah, with
And
all the Greek gods, and then Solomon put in there.
right. Well, the reason that's a problem is because it says in Proverbs, the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord, right? So, and the fear of the Lord involves not having anything to do with idols. So effectively, what would happen is that Captain Marvel would use his powers one time, activate the wisdom of Solomon, and go, I can't do this, is idolatry, and then he'd never use his powers again.
Well, he'd never use all the other powers, anyways.
Well, I don't think he could control which ones he uses and which ones he didn't, because like speed and strength, those are more like changing his body. He can't really help but use those. Stamina. Yeah. So when he transforms, he's automatically going to use those.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to. You could, just like Superman minimizes the strength he uses, you could minimize the strength he uses.
No, but what I mean is that using them at all would be, he wouldn't be able to use them at all, because forget minimizing it. I mean, using a little bit is using it too much.
Yeah. So actually, he'd get the wisdom of Solomon, then he'd realize these gods don't exist, and then he has no other powers.
Yeah, well, I think that.
But therein lies the problem too, is that they're elevating Solomon to a god. Right. That because they're saying the gods, with all those. So.
Well, it's just one of those things where they're trying to make a interesting story, but they're not really thinking about what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. The idea of having the wisdom of Solomon, especially as a kid, is kind of interesting and fun and appealing, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense,
I tried thinking of Christian or Judaism version of it, using Old Testament guys,
Mm-hmm.
Keep Solomon. Maybe the warrior, the faithfulness of Abraham or righteousness or whatever. Something from David, maybe something from Elijah. I'm not sure who else I know there's a bunch you could use. Maybe Gideon or Samson.
Well, I
Strength,
mean,
the strength of Samson. There.
yeah, and
What were you gonna say?
no, I was gonna say, I mean, you have a lot of Jewish heroes. You have the David's mighty men,
Yeah,
and they're all very powerful warriors. But what makes Jewish warrior powerful ultimately is keeping the Torah and making sure that you're you know keeping God's word the way you're supposed to, keeping
yeah,
the law the way you're supposed to, and so. And in that sense, God ends up in a lot of ways fighting your battles for you, making you successful.
yeah.
I guess I'm giving this guy a mullet. I don't know. Long
Oh,
hair.
yeah. He's got a bit of long hair.
Yeah, very fluffy. He could be a model. I can't believe it's not butter spread. Well, Fabio there.
Yeah. His hair is probably always going to be different. Well, I'm not sure how different. I'm trying to think of him as a kid with long hair or whatever. I liked having long hair as a kid, so I guess bit of an influence for myself there for him.
So basically, he invented a super suit for himself, but without the suit, he's a regular person.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
he's got the knowledge still, but.
No, I know, but I mean, as far as
Yeah, the suit allows him to. Let's see, I got a bit of a bio here for him with a little bit of what the suit allows him to do.
I mean, the nice thing about a technology-based character is that you can always change.
Yeah.
You can always have new abilities or different abilities
Yeah.
as you go along.
Yeah, let's see here. It says, the Whiz has no real power of his own. All his powers come from some mechanical device which he's created with the advanced knowledge of technology. He has created an arsenal of advanced tracking, personal, analytical, medical, capturing devices. One such device is a personal shield, so protecting him from like gunfire and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To make him seem invincible, like sort of like Superman, I guess.
Okay.
Um, let's
Like, how
see.
strong is his shield? Like, what's the maximum damage it can take?
I don't think I put that out there yet, but because I've written what maybe 5 comics for him, so that'll obviously get tested throughout the years.
Yeah.
Can it survive a nuclear bomb? I don't know. Can it survive probably I'd say it can survive like a tank shell or something like that,
Okay.
exploding in front of them.
Who is your strongest character that you have?
Oh, physical strength. I take it you mean?
I mean, just overall, like the most like the guy that everyone else in your universe goes, oh, I don't want to mess with him. He would defeat us all. I mean, who is that for you?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't have one?
Well, I guess I haven't really thought of it that much. Like I've got, like, oh, Uska is here, and he says Canadian Shield. Canadian Shield would probably be technically stronger than the Whiz. The suit would make him stronger, but the Whiz, seeing as how he has the advanced technology, could make him himself a suit that would make the Canadian Shield suit look like a child's toy. Because Canadian Shield is like 30, 50 years in the future, where the Wiz is 1,000 years in the future. So
AE Ortiz. I see Ortiz is in here.
yeah, he was.
Model 316
Yeah.
is there. He's gluing some stuff together. Okay. Well, so what? So you think Canadian? So you're not sure if it's Canadian Shield or if it's the Wiz.
Well, there might be characters actually stronger than physically stronger. I would say the Wiz has a distinct advantage, with having that 31st century technology, you know, but he's got to be able to build something.
But I thought Canadian Shield's abilities were not technologically based. They were superpowers of some sort.
The suit gives him the powers that he
Oh,
wears.
okay.
He didn't invent it; it was gifted to him by God. He's a man from like the early 200s. I mean, the early 1800s.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
a man-eating badger or something.
yeah. Pardon it? Oh, man like cougar.
Man like cougar. Sorry, I don't know where I got man-eating badger from, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Man.
probably when everybody was making fun of the name because of the possible implications.
Oh,
Because of today's world, what the cougar has also come to represent, but it still represents an animal. So
yeah. I mean, people are going to make fun of anything just because
they can.
just because they can. That's right. So you shouldn't feel too bad about it.
Yeah. Oh, I don't. But yeah. And he's the suits from our near future, like probably 50 years into the future or something like that.
But
I,
Wiz is even more advanced.
yeah. Well, technically, he hasn't put the super strength like the Canadian Shield has in his and all that.
So
He would. He would.
is there any like mutants or anything in your universe, or people who have their own powers but they don't really rely on technology?
Uh, yes. Where I've they're not well, they're mutants, but not mutants. What I've determined because I learned a while back that there's no real anything that is technically has mutated. It's never for the good. So uh, I'm not having powers derived from that. My one character, the Flame, he a fire a spiritual weaponry. He brings his spiritual weaponry into the physical realm. So
Okay.
that's what I've decided that all of my characters that have powers not based in technology or some sort of manipulation of the genome by themselves or somebody else. Or, like my character Insecto, he says, you know, Lord, let me become Insecto, and he transforms into the character that he is.
Okay.
But these, like my character the Flame, who has fire-based powers, it's because he's brung the spiritual weaponry of fire into the physical realm. That's what I decided, and now there's lots of ways it can different people have different spiritual weaponry, right? So.
Okay. What about the bad guys? Do they have spiritual weaponry as well, or where do they get
Well,
their?
some of them will have brung theirs in because when I'm not sure whether I'm trying to say he was the first to do it, the Flame, but because of him doing it, it weakened the barrier so others could do it,
Okay.
and I haven't, you can tell, I haven't worked out all the finer details of this idea,
Uh huh.
just because it allows a lot of this stuff gets developed over time while writing comics or whatever. You figure out the finer details as you go along.
Sure.
Like when Superman was first created, he didn't fly; he just leaped.
Sure.
And now
He
he
also wasn't
flies.
very nice. He was not a very nice guy either.
No, he was not. I've read Action Comic. I've
He was
read the Action Comics #1. It's like he was
he was
as
kind of a
he was as
jerk.
mean as he was as mean as Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, but that eventually changed. I wonder. Maybe they. I don't know. I wonder why they changed it. Maybe they just got better cells, making them nice or something. I don't know.
Who knows? Let's see what else we got. He can cloak himself, like make himself invisible with his technology. Uh, is that Cyborg Spider-Man? No, this is the Whiz. And yes, I chose the colors of the Whiz based on Spider-Man and Superman. The red and blue characters seem to do well, so I figured give one of my main characters the red and blue.
Oh, I see it now. I see the Spider-Man thing. Okay, that's kind of funny. Yeah, I've made characters before where I thought, what a great costume concept. And somebody comes along and goes, hey, is that this or that character? Well, it wasn't before, but now I have to change the costume because I can't get it out of my head,
Yeah, but I think it's enough different that I won't get in any trouble.
Well, you really only get in trouble if you start making money from it. That so until then you're fine, but then you when you start making money from it, then you might get in trouble.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's got no spider type mask. There's no webbing on it.
I hear. I hear.
And he's technology based, not well. There's a little bit of technology with Spider-Man, but not much. With his web shooters.
See, I always thought it was strange that Spider-Man is able to invent his web shooters, but he never invents anything that interesting ever again, right? He never invents any other gadget that helps him really that much. I mean, he's got spider trackers, but I mean, anybody can make spider trackers. They're just tracking devices. So
yeah, but they're also honed to his spider sense too. So
well, I know, but I mean, more or less, it's just. I mean, more or less, it's not that impressive. It's not as impressive as his web shooter. And my theory is that that more than likely what happened was he was supposed to develop, like in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man show, he was supposed to naturally develop his own web shooters, but maybe there was some sort of accident. He didn't, mutate correctly completely, and for that reason, his web shooters didn't develop. But he had developed this instinct for web shooting, and his instinct got melded with his intellect, and it was sort of like an impulse to create them based on the mutated instincts that he had, and that's why he was successful at making them, was because he sort of had a sense about how to make them. So. I used to have my fantasy. If I ever got to do Spider-Man, I would do a couple of stories. One story would be one where the spider bit Peter, but it didn't die immediately afterwards, and it bit another person, and that person did get the full package as far as the web shooters and everything, and this person, and he became a secret agent or something.
Well, they did that. That was Silk.
You see, I haven't been that. Well, it makes sense. I mean, it's not like the most original idea in the world, but.
Well, I don't know a lot about Silk, but that's what I heard. Anyways, that she was bitten shortly afterwards as well, right at the same time. I haven't read her storylines and all that, but. That's what I remember hearing. And we got Model 316 with us. And who else do we have here?
I need my speech to break.
Oh, hey, Kevin.
Oh, I'm about to say you hurt my feelings there, Rick. I didn't think you was going to notice me.
Well, I noticed two people there, but with you doing stuff and not talking, it doesn't say your name. Unless I go over you, I guess.
I'm incognito. I'm trying to hide from the police. I came in. I was just listening to the conversation. It was I always thought Spider-Man had the web shooters as a part of his body. That was my thing when I was little. I thought he shot him from his wrists, not from shooters.
Yeah, the only reason I knew otherwise was because when I was in elementary school, in the school library, they had the original Fantastic Four, a couple of issues, put together this little cardboard book. And so I used to read those, and in one section, they had something about, it had Spider-Man also. They had how strong is Spider-Man's web, and they showed that Human Torch couldn't burn through it. It was stronger than the Thing. Reed Richards couldn't get out of it. So I learned from that he had actually shooters, but that was the only reason I knew as a kid.
I was watching, speaking of just comic book stuff, I was watching Infinity War last night, and I was thinking, why doesn't Tony Stark make an Iron Man suit out of vibranium?
Yeah, if he's got access to it now, he should.
Yep.
There's a lot of things. Like, let's go to DC for just a second. Let's talk about the Batman. Batman, the way that DC doesn't know what to do with Batman. I feel like Batman is the most misunderstood character DC has, and for two reasons. Number one, Batman uses an array of gadgets to help him in his crime fighting. But as a member of Justice League, he's friends with people like Steel. He's got access to Kryptonian technology, to technology from Apocalypse, from all over the universe. And yet he's still running around in Kevlar. So I would think a smart Batman, and Batman's supposed to be one of the smartest guys around, would actually make a bat suit made from the various types of technology he has available to himself. And it only makes sense. He can fight crime longer if he does that. Yeah. My second thing is I don't feel like Batman is really a physical superhero. I think he has the capacity to get physical. I think really he was designed to be Sherlock Holmes in a costume. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they should utilize that and focus more on his detective ability than just on him being able to beat people up. Anybody can do that.
I had this whole theory about why he doesn't kill the criminals that should be killed, like the Joker and people like that, because he's a capitalist. He would be out of business if he didn't have villains to fight.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's smart enough. He's the smartest person in the DC universe. He's human, right? He's supposed to be this. He's Sherlock Holmes, right? He's supposed to be smart. Right. He knows that to leave certain villains alive would kill more innocent people, and has killed more innocent people than just killing them, just getting rid of it. Because he knows ultimate evil cannot be rehabilitated. Anybody who has a psychology degree, realizes that there's some pure evil in this world that cannot be stopped by incarceration, that sometimes you just got to rub it out and get rid of it completely.
Well, I think their excuse for him not doing that, I think, comes down to more of a psychological issue, and that is that he ultimately doesn't believe in killing criminals, because that would make him a criminal. I think that's kind of I think that his methods are to demonstrate kind of a disgust with the criminal on one hand. Of course, I guess you can make the argument, then why does he get into fistfights? But I guess my counter proposal would be that that's why I think they're misusing the character. I think that he isn't meant to get into fistfights all the time. Right?
Well,
one person said that if the moment that Batman has to throw a punch is the moment he's lost, because Batman beats people with his mind, not with his brawn.
Yeah, and if you think about this, the villains know that's his crutch, that's his thing. So he's not going to kill them. Yeah. So it doesn't deter them from violence and so forth. And he already has this mystique about him that he already instills fear into these criminals. Think about how more deadly he would be if he does take out a few, like he kills the Joker, and that gets to the rest of the villains in Gotham City, and like, oh snap, now he's actually killing us. Okay, let me think about this before I go and poison the well or whatever, right? Because he just put a bullet in the Joker's forehead. so he's not playing around no more.
Yeah.
I think that would make him more deadly and more of a deterrent for people who commit crimes.
I think if I understand correctly, he set up scenarios where it looked as if he had killed people, and that's what he was. That kind of helped build his reputation at one point. I don't know. I think that I don't know if that was Batman Year One or where I read that at, but
I just think he's too smart. He knows that if he kills him, he'll be out of business.
But here's the thing. I think he's smart enough to realize that being a one-man vigilante ultimately isn't going to accomplish anything. I think that if he were completely acting on his intellect, I think what he would have done is he would have created his own Bat Army by this point. I know they tried to do that, but I think ultimately Batman, if he's at all a realistic character, would have to be someone who's smart enough to recognize, look, one guy isn't going to make a difference like with his fist, and so then he'd have to look for other means to help him. I mean, he had to find a way to make Batman more effective overall than just patrolling every night and whatnot.
Yeah, I think a part of him likes doing that though. But you're right. I mean, a smart man would develop resources to lessen the workload.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's what Robin and the other sidekicks are for, is to do that. But he never. But this is the problem with dealing with comics, is that the nature of DC and Marvel is they can never do anything truly interesting with the characters because they're locked into a certain way they want to present the characters they know works financially, and so that these characters get stuck doing stupid things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully, I'm not going to do those stupid things. I want to build the legacy characters and actually have them over, for my comics. I'm slowly putting the legacy characters in there, so they'll take over at some point.
Well, it's good. I think legacy pair characters are important. Look, someone like a Batman only has maybe 10, 15 years that he can work actively, unless he's taking advantage of certain technologies.
He's utilizing stem cell research and human growth hormones and all this other stuff to keep his body.
At least he's going to Paradise Island every now and then, getting zapped by the Blu-ray or whatever it is they have there.
If he's smart, he'd take over the youth pit that Raj Al Ghul has.
Yeah, the Lazarus pit. Yeah.
Yeah, a little sauna action.
Right.
Yeah, but the reason he doesn't do that is because it's Rush and Sane. So.
But if you look at Rush's history, he was already more or less insane.
Yeah.
I'm just saying a little splash in the face, go in there and wash your face a little bit, brush your teeth and head on out, it's freshen up.
Yeah. No, I something. He should be doing something, and I mean, I don't know. He and Lex Luthor both. I almost feel like Lex Luthor could be his Moriarty in one sense, because as interesting as the Joker can be, really, at some point the Joker's just going to go splat on his own. He can only be so crazy for so long before it catches up to him. And so it's really just a waiting game for Batman. Is how long is he going to wait and let the Joker eventually take himself out? But Lex Luthor is the kind. He's a survivor, and he's very much like Batman. He's a self-made man, and he's arguably as smart or smarter than Bruce Wayne.
Well, he's smarter than Bruce Wayne because he has no boundaries.
Well, I don't know that that makes him smarter. What would it might make him in some ways more deadly, but actually it argues, because he hasn't been successful against Bruce Wayne, it actually argues that Bruce Wayne is smarter than Lex Luthor, because if Luthor was smarter than Wayne, then he would have fallen to his machinations by now.
Well, he doesn't really go against Bruce Wayne that much, though.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I think that if we're to think about it, I mean, as much as he's a nemesis for Superman, he should also be a nemesis for Batman. I mean, for intellectual reasons. Those two
his ego is part of his downfall. And that's the thing. I think that's part of Batman's discipline is if he gave into his what he knows is right, it might push him to an edge where, he has to now fight these other ego aspects of the ego, whereas Lex Luthor kind of succumbs to his ego sometimes as superiority.
Sure, that's true.
But you got to think I don't know. I think Lex Luthor would give him a run for his money.
Absolutely, I think he would. I mean, he gives Superman a run for his money. I mean, everybody already believes that Batman's capable of taking out Superman. I think it's laughable, but that's what everybody seems to believe. I just think that if Superman knows it's coming, I don't think Batman has a chance.
Well, Superman's smart, but he's not. He doesn't have the genius intellect and he also has those moral boundaries that Batman will push sometimes.
Well, it depends on which Superman you're talking about, because there's certainly it's been made clear that he does have a genius intellect. He's a Kryptonian.
Yeah.
Kryptonians seem to have their average intellect would be like a genius on Earth, and so I think that Superman's almost as smart as Lex Luthor, if not as smart as him.
I think he's smarter than Lex, and then he has access to Kryptonian technology.
I think sometimes Superman might be playing along with Lex just to have something to do.
I think Superman has too many trust issues. He trusts too much.
Yeah,
and that's a weakness. Batman doesn't trust. Batman, like we've already said, he's planned how to defeat his own friends, so he knows what's going to happen. Whereas Superman probably wouldn't go that far. He doesn't have to. He's just a giant battering ram for the most part, so he doesn't really have that many weaknesses. But that's also his weakness too.
His strength makes him naturally cocky. He doesn't realize he's cocky, but he can't help but be a little bit full of himself because he just can't seem to find anything that really does any permanent damage to him.
Yep. That's a weakness for him because that's Batman. That's how Batman turns it against him.
Yeah.
Tank Ferret says, "Oh snap! We're talking about Ra's al Ghul. We're talking about the whole universe."
You sort of missed that conversation, Tank.
You should get in here, Tank. Get in on this conversation, and of course, tweet it out too. But it's hard to say, they say Batman can defeat any person in the DC universe. So
I don't believe it. I think honestly that I think Superman would take him out pretty quickly. The only chance that Batman really has is sneaking up on Superman. And that's it. That's under that scenario only is Batman able to take out Superman.
Well, that's what they say. He's got it with enough time to prepare. He can defeat anybody. If you just catch him off the guard, he can beat him. All he's got to do is hit him one good time in the face and then snap his neck.
Are you talking about Superman?
Yeah, Superman's just got to hit him one good time and that's it. And Superman is faster than him, so technically, if he just come up on him and just out of the blue punched him, he's done. He's over with.
Or fried him with his X-ray heat vision.
Yeah. So.
Right. Yeah, Batman's only hope is to catch him off guard, and if that fails, then he's toast.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, Batman's got to have time to prepare. That's
right.
Unfortunately, that's kind of what he gets too. So he gets plenty of time and foresight to what's going on.
There's something too. We see a lot of that. I'm not sure how much you guys read the Injustice comic.
I brought it back already.
It's a lot of the Batman versus Superman, basically.
Okay.
A good personal friend of mine actually inked that series.
Oh, yeah. Neat.
Yeah,
we know Mike Miller did some of it too.
Yeah, one of the longtime running inkers, Juan Albarin, is a buddy of mine, real life buddy of mine. He's an exceptional inker, but he did most of the Injustice work inking it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. That was a pretty good series. I didn't get to read all of it, but I read some of it.
Well, they're on to Justice 2 now, so
I thought they already finished that. They're still doing it.
I don't know. I thought they were, but it's been a while since I. We got JP4 in the chat. He says hi, and Joshua Hughes says hi, JP. Hail Raven.
Hello, JP.
Oh, there's so Model 316.
Oh wow, he speaks. So, what do you think about this Batman versus Superman debate?
I am not invested. I'm not a superhero guy.
Okay.
He's just here for the coffee cakes.
Well, I like stuff like Conan and those type of comics, Star Wars. I never got into the superheroes too much. A little bit of Daredevil in the 80s when Innocenti was doing it. That was good then. It was really good. And Punisher. But that's not really a superhero.
Punisher was good in the 80s. He had a lot of good stories.
G.I. Joe was great.
Yep. So what do you think about the new Conan coming to the Marvel Universe?
Well, I saw some of those crossover covers. I hope that's not in the book.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to take the magic away from Conan and stick him in to a world of like, because we've got Thor, we've got Hercules, we've got these brutes already. So Conan's not going to be able to really hang with these guys.
Oh,
Well, I did hear that it was stated that is not in the book. That's just the covers. They're special covers.
Oh, okay.
Are they making Conan a part of the modern Marvel universe, or just he has his own thing?
They did some covers that had some of the other characters like fighting Conan, and it was like, oh boy.
Conan wouldn't stand a chance. He would not stand a chance. It's just a different era. I hope they don't make that a thing and actually bring him in.
I don't know. I mean, if Captain America can fight these guys, then why not Conan?
Because he doesn't fit in this era. He's a barbarian. He'd go out and get totally smeared by Captain America or anybody like Taskmaster or someone of that level would just wipe the floor with him.
I don't know. I think that he would. I guess someone like Captain America, I think he would hold his own. I don't know about.
He'd beat Captain America's behind.
Oh no, he wouldn't.
Oh yeah.
No, he would not. Oh my goodness.
Captain America is in the comics. His strength is only like the peak of human beings, and I think that Conan is at that strength level too. In the movies, they're making him much stronger than he is in the comic.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing the movie, but even in the comic form, he still is like he's above human peak strength. He's his power levels are actually quite a bit above that.
I thought I read that he was peak human, because I went to look because I was like, well, how strong is this guy? Because they had him stopping a helicopter from flying in the Winter Soldier, and what I found was he's at the peak. He's not above the peak.
Going off his old Marvel card, if I can remember correctly.
Conan would stop a helicopter with his face.
He would. Not think about it, he would.
Probably right.
He'd run head face right into it with his face.
That's funny.
I don't know. I think he just needs to stay in his own universe. I think it'd hurt the character. I think people would be like, "Oh, okay," and then they'd be done with it.
It sounds like they were just doing those covers as like exhibition pieces, and I believe it was someone involved in the book that had tweeted out that it's traditional Conan. That's not what's in the book, because everybody started panicking.
Yeah, because I started seeing articles about Conan coming to the Marvel Universe. I'm like, what? That's just dumb.
Oh, we got Tank in the house.
What's up, guys? No, I'm with you. I want my Conan pure, simple, and Sumerian.
That's right, man.
I love Conan because Conan books are like Louis L'Amour books. I mean, you're basically getting the same book every time you pick up the book, but it's the little particulars in between. Of how he does it, because a lot of people think, Conan, oh, he's the big, strong, dumb barbarian. It's like, no, he's not dumb, dude. He is super smart. Like, he is wicked smart. His archetype is called the competent man. And that is, with the skills he has, he can overcome situations and he can learn new skills on the fly. I love Conan. Oh, dude. Like, Robert E. Howard and Leonard Carpenter, they are the best.
That only works in his universe. Like in our universe, in the Marvel universe, he'd still be a few steps behind everybody else.
Oh, dude, he'd be overwhelmed. He'd want to go home. Like this age of sorcery and wonder and, the sorcery they call technology, and he would not like it. Conan doesn't like the magic because it's something he can understand most things, but he just can't grok the sorcery.
Yeah.
Well, so explain how Conan beats all these wizards, these powerful wizards in
With
magic
his sword in their face. Chops up their monster in front of them and makes them watch.
I think he'd be surprised. I think Conan would come in and
I think he'd own some people for sure.
Oh, I have no doubt that Conan would definitely be able to like hang out with the superheroes, and he'd definitely be better than the B-listers, but he would by no means be an A-lister whatsoever. Like,
I don't know about that.
He'd have Captain Marvel and a little G-string sitting at his feet.
Yeah, he would.
Well, yeah, I mean, he would hear the lamentations of the women because that's kind of his bag.
That's the only reason why we want to watch it.
That's right. I love a good Conan story, man. It's like Conan has awesome weapon. Conan has awesome girl. Conan's on top of the world. Evil happens. Conan loses everything. Nearly dies. Loses weapon. Has to get new weapon. Gets new girl. New girl dies. Gets secondary girl. Secondary girl may or may not die.
It's a simple formula. Just keep it simple.
It's a simple formula. It's like a Louis L'Amour book, man. Troubled guy out in the Wild West.
Kills dumber villains. Bloodshed. Leather underwear.
Whoa, too many.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, an interesting matchup I would like to see? I would like to see Ra's al Ghul and Lex Luthor hate each other. Like, it would like start off with like Lex Luthor's bodyguard or guards turning on him, because turns out they were League of Assassins the whole time. And then Lex Luthor, with all his power and money, trying to scour the world to uncover a clandestine organization that's managed to remain hidden throughout the history of humankind.
First off, Lex Luthor puts on his super power suit that for some reason has no helmet. And he just goes down.
And nobody takes the headshot.
Did you ever see that Robot Chicken where they had Lex Luthor and he goes, "Now I'm unstoppable," and someone hits him in the face with a basketball?
It's the little things that really throw off his master plans. It's the details. That's why he never can win, because he always misses the details.
Right.
Oh, Hillel.
Yeah.
Dude, I showed off that art that you did of Omega Demon to the creator of the character. And he has geeked out because that's his first fan art ever.
Oh, good.
He's so stoked. He loves that character so much.
Well, I'm glad. I was looking for someone. I wanted to do some fan art from people in our group, and you don't make it easy. You had Scalpel Zero, but I was looking for a different kind of character, and I finally found one tiny picture of him somewhere. I had to keep zooming in, going, "Well, I think this is kind of what he looks like." But he does. He's kind of an interesting looking character. I like him.
He's a fun character. No, it's a Jewish character created by a Jewish guy with Jewish fan art. I love it. He was laughing about that. Because I don't know.
Well, actually, that's one of the reasons I chose him, was because I saw the piece of art that I found him in was, he said, "Well, you're black. Well, you're Jewish." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll do the Jewish guy."
How come we're not stomping stomping a mud hole in that Nazi? because she's a crazy white girl.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had a picture of Scalpel Zero stomping a mud hole in a dyed-in-the-wool uniformed Nazi.
Well, did it have blue hair?
No. She does not have blue hair. She's about as ideal there. Sorry, can't have her. You guys suck.
I think they have had Rosh go up against, or Lex go up against Rosh before. I don't know for sure.
I enjoyed when Lex went up against Lex. He went against Alexander Luthor from the Earth Prime. Remember, he had taken over Lex Luthor's identity for a while, and what was that series called? It had Catman and various villains. The Secret Six. That's what it was.
Oh, is that the alternate, the evil version of the Justice League?
No, they weren't really the alternate version of the Justice League. They were just they were villains who were more or less contracted by a mysterious person called Mockingbird or Mockingjay or something. And it turned out that the person who contracted them was actually the real Lex Luthor to take out the imposter. The imposter was Alexander Luthor, who was from Crisis on Infinite Earths. He was the curly-headed good Luthor. And they made him evil. They made him Superboy Prime.
Didn't he turn out to be from Earth 3 or something like that? Or is that different Alexander Luthor?
I thought he was from. I thought he was Alexander Luthor from Earth Prime, like Superboy Prime. I thought they were from the same place. Remember, End of Crisis, they created this pocket dimension where Superman, Superboy, and Alexander Luthor go with Lois Lane.
Yeah, that's
with Superman from Earth 1, I think it was the original Earth 1 or Earth 2.
Yeah, Superman from Earth 2, the original Superman.
Was he redheaded? Was he the redheaded Lex?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know which ones you're talking about. It was 15 years ago, I think the series was.
It was a long time ago, yeah.
My favorite Lex Luthor is Vidal Sassoon Lex Luthor. He's got the long red locks. It's just gorgeous, hair. And it's just like, Lex, see, that's why you're acting like a good guy now, because you finally, got what you wanted. A head of luscious hair.
Are you talking about the Lex Luthor who was the clone of himself?
Yes, the clone of himself that had the alien shapeshifter that was in the imposter Supergirl.
Oh yeah. Went up against the and got turned into pudding.
Yeah. Whenever she got beat up, she turned into pudding.
He knocked her into a pudding. He hit her so hard she turned to Jello.
The sad thing is I kind of liked that Supergirl. Eventually I liked her. I didn't like her at first. It took me a long time.
She had a good personality. She was really trying very hard to. I love the struggle of that character as well. They had an internal struggle of trying to live up to an icon while not being as powerful as that icon, but being able to fake it using other powers. And so I have to hand it to the writer whenever they did that character right, because that was kind of tricky. That was tricky because the characters in the story had to be fooled. The writer didn't have the audience didn't have to be fooled. The audience could know the whole time, but it had to be convincing for the.
Everybody knew that Supergirl wasn't related to Superman like the one before, even in the regular universe, because she was like Lex Luthor's lover too. I think in that.
Well, yeah, but the public thought she was genuine Supergirl. Public never knew. They thought, Supergirl came back from the dead. Heroes do that all the time. I mean, that's one thing about superheroes is they're like the undead. They just keep coming back.
What about Power Girl? She's technically the Supergirl.
She's Supergirl from Earth 2, but because of what happened with Crisis, they didn't know what to do with her for about 10, 15 years. They kept changing her origin, just like Donna Troy. poor Donna Troy got messed up because of the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and they kept trying to reinvent her as well. But at one point, Power Girl was like the last daughter of Atlantis, and her powers were magic based, not superhero based. But now, I think in the 52 universe, I think she's from Kandor.
Which again, she's from Earth 2 because they, they did the whole Earth 2 thing. At least last time I remember. Anyway.
Oh, I don't know. I can't keep track of it all.
I can't either. Don't worry.
No, these guys do not organize their multiverse very well.
Well, they organize it well, and then they mess it up.
Well, before when they did Crisis, as a kid, I knew every multiverse there was because I had those who's in the DC universe.
Yeah, those are the best.
Oh, those were awesome. I wish they'd do those.
Oh, I love those things.
I had like all of them, and so I knew who everybody was. I looked at that sucker the most. The who's who in the DC universe. I used to pour over those all the time.
Yeah, those are the funnest thing ever.
I remember Todd McFarlane's cover he did for one, and I didn't know who this guy was, but I remember thinking, man, those capes are awesome.
Well, you're talking the pages of Who's Who. They also had a bunch of comic books Who's Who's as well before that, I think.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Crisis.
I used to get them out of the back issue boxes at the comic shop, like 15 cents a piece. They're great.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of the Who's Who too. I like them.
They're not cheap. I went on to Google. I went on to eBay looking for them. They're not cheap. Even in the lot sets, they're quite expensive.
I want the giant DC comics encyclopedia that they published a couple of years back.
Uh-huh.
The one that's giant like a tome.
Oh yeah.
It's like 2,000-3,000 pages or something like that. It's just giant, dude. Like forget squashing a spider with that, dude. You can go back to the Carboniferous era and squash a spider then. Those spiders were bigger than trash can lids, folks. Just so you know. No, this is the ultimate spider squashing book. And it's gorgeous because it's the whole history of DC Comics, and it takes it up through like the early 2000s, from the origin to back when it was National and all that stuff. Gorgeous.
One of my favorite eras for the Justice League was actually in the 90s with when Brian Hitch was doing the art. And they had, Aquaman had his hook hand, and they had restarted the JLA. I think it was called JLA. I don't think it was called Justice League. I just liked the way they did the characters back then.
At the same time they cut off Wolverine's hand and gave him a nub in the Future saga.
Yeah, old man, one-handed Wolverine.
Yeah.
At one point, they took away Wolverine's nose. I don't remember what that was about, but they Krillin'd him.
Yeah, when they made him all Beast Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got out of comics at that time. It was a weird era for comics.
I'll tell you, I had a couple of phase times I got out of comics. The first time was late 90s. I got kind of tired of seeing that the creativity of women superheroes was basically, here's a thong, it's her super costume. And I was like, I don't like that. Every other character was some variation of Wolverine. And a lot of the characters had death, blood, or something of that nature combination in their name. Yep. And you just kind of go, who cares? And then I got back into it for a while. I collected off and on in college, and then the second time I got out because I had read the series Planet Hulk, and for me, this was like the ultimate Hulk story. This was the ending of the Hulk story, the ending of the Hulk saga. When they left that, when they ended it, the Hulk was like Conan, right? Remember the first Conan movie where Conan's sitting on his throne, right? And they go back and they tell his story. It was almost as if Hulk was Conan, and he'd finally reached his throne, and then that was the end of his story. And I thought it was a great end. I thought it was a great way to end the Hulk as a character, at least the Banner Hulk. And then they went and screwed the whole thing up with World War Hulk. And
Yeah.
I was so disgusted with World War because number one, you knew he wasn't going to kill anyone. Nobody was going to die. And you just knew that. And then the fact they destroyed this perfect ending, I just, for me, I was like, I'm done. I can't take it. They think that making a comic book means jerking my chain, not giving me a good, satisfying story, not being able to conclude certain characters.
The Hulk cannot have a patriarchal relationship. That defeats their whole mission. How dare he have a wife?
I know. Well, no superhero can. Look, they screwed up Jonathan Kent recently. Jonathan.
They did like Superboy.
Yeah, he was interesting.
Divorce made Lois and Clark or Superman divorce, or was it Wonder Woman? It was Wonder Woman.
I thought it was Lois and Clark, but
was it Lois and Clark?
Yeah, it was Lois and Clark. They never put Superman and Wonder Woman completely together like they were planning.
Okay, wasn't sure.
I sort of like that idea though. Superman and Wonder Woman. I like Superman and Lois Lane, but I also like Superman and Wonder Woman.
I like Wonder Woman because she can actually hold her own with him. That's not just other reasons, but like she would be able to bear his child, I believe. Whereas Lois Lane, I don't think could be able to go through the pains and. Well, one good kick from the super baby would probably rupture her entire organ.
Apparently, not without the help of Lex Luthor.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't think that would happen because the baby has to be exposed to solar radiation directly. It wouldn't be exposed because in the womb.
He'd get it through the womb. The skin.
Yeah, but could he get it? Could he get it technically through her through the womb?
He'd get it through the skin, the belly. The sun would go through. The rays go through the stomach. It would actually. He would get some of it. It wouldn't take.
But for Kryptonians, it's not supposed to be like an instant power up. I mean, I know that's how they do it sometimes in the movies, but if you watch the Man of Steel movie, it took him years to accumulate enough solar energy to start having his powers. Now, of course, when Zod gets to the planet, suddenly he's all powerful. But my understanding is that Kryptonian has to charge very slowly over time when they're young to finally be able to utilize their powers.
I don't think that's true because you've seen as General Zod and all that come to Earth and get the superpowers.
Well, that's what I just inconsistent.
Yeah.
But the way they had Superman though was in the Man of Steel movie was that he grew up slowly getting his powers, and the same thing happened in Smallville. Over a period of time.
Yeah, well, the period of time they manifest, it was not necessarily. And it had to have something happen to have it manifest. They might have already been there, but just not manifesting. I think they showed from an early age in, say, like Smallville, that he was able to lift tractors. So the super strength was there, but like heat vision. How do you activate heat vision if you don't know it's there?
Wait, didn't he in the Smallville? Didn't he pick the truck up, or was it the Superman movie as a baby or a small child?
I think it was both.
Okay.
In the movie, he as a baby he picked it up. Like they've been very inconsistent with how his powers work. But
the thing is, would you as Lois Lane want to trust that going through 9 months of an infant kicking you? And, I'd be worried about that. I'd be worried.
Well, then again, all she'd have to do is go under a red sun. I think it is.
Right. Live
under a red sun for that time.
Then I'd be afraid it might deform the baby.
Well, the baby's genetic history comes from a red sun planet, so it wouldn't deform him. He might actually be more successful as a living organism if he was born under a red sun.
That's true.
Personally, I want to see the baby kick its way out.
It wouldn't take much. One swift kick.
I wasn't really interested in that whole premise until I started thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, sounds good.
It sounds good.
We lost Tank.
He got out with baby kicking. He's like, no.
Who's drawing Voltron?
Me.
You're drawing Voltron?
Yeah, or in stages anyways. I started a few days last week sometime.
Well, it looks really good. Are you tracing it, or are you?
No, I'm looking at pictures in front of me on my
Oh,
on my TV monitor,
well, you're
and
doing great.
you know, I added this arm today, this here, and the pieces for the legs to attach.
What size is that? 11 by 17?
Approximately, the actual size is let's see, 11.7 by 16.5 inches.
Gotcha.
So as soon as I'm done finally getting all the pencils in, I will do the inks for it. I'm waiting until I get all the pencils in before I do inks. Then I'll probably scan it and do a coloring job offline. Maybe, hopefully, or I might do a coloring job on the computer when I scan.
What do you use to color? Photoshop or Manga Studio?
I've been using Illustrator.
Ooh, going the hard route.
Yeah. Well, I sort of I like the vector system a lot, and well, I haven't gotten manga yet. You know, I tried to get it at Christmas when they had the sale on, but they didn't want to accept my pay-as-you-go credit card, and they didn't want to accept my PayPal, so like okay, I guess I got screwed there. So
Your Canadian currency is no good here.
They'll do it again.
yeah, they'll do it again eventually, and I'll try. I might even get it before then. $60 for. I think it was $60 for it. It's not too bad of a price,
No, that's
buying
good.
it one.
That's why I like it. It's a very affordable software. I got mine when I basically applied for an Amazon credit card through Amazon, and they gave me like a $60 credit, and I paid for it with that. I was like, heck yeah, that's a good deal, man. It's basically for free.
And it's just the other thing. What was it with it too? Or I downloaded the trial version, but it wouldn't allow you to save anything, so that became on that.
That's how they get you.
I'm following this guy named Comics in the Golden Age. He's always putting out these old covers, and they're awesome.
Who's that?
Comics in the Golden Age.
Oh, Comics in the Golden Age.
Yeah, he's got these great old comic covers, and he just posts them up every day. And so the one he's got right here is Star Spangled Comics.
Oh, you got that so we can see? Hello?
Yeah, you not see it?
Sure. And we got Midnight Cherry in the chat. Hey, Midnight, how are you doing today?
Yeah, you'll want to keep an eye on him and just kick him if he starts getting too wild.
So what are you drawing there, Kevin?
Still working on some just random promo piece for Apollo.
Cool.
I might get somewhere with it. I don't know.
Midnight says, I finally don't have a wrench in a chat. Very relaxing. Well, you're welcome. We could fix that for you if you wanted to. However, if you go into chats like John Diller's, you need a wrench just to survive.
You talking about Josh?
No, John Dillard.
Oh, John. Well, he likes to give everybody a weapon to survive, the battle.
Here, it's no problem. No problem. I wasn't gonna. Here, you don't need that wrench to survive.
Not that blood. Was it that cut throat here?
Yeah. Well, people know if they start wrenching. What was that? Hello?
I said I need going, but it's nice hanging out with y'all.
Yeah. People know that in my chat, if you start,
I'm saying
you're taking off.
yes.
Okay. Well, you want to show for yourself there? Hello. Tell people where they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube at New Hero Comics, and you can see me do my thing, whether it's drawing or whatever. And I'm developing a comic called Inner World, and I actually finished chapter 1. Finished the first 22 pages. So on to chapter 2.
Cool.
Onward and upward.
Onward and upward. Yep. All right. Well, see you guys later.
See you later.
Okay, see you later.
Bye.
Yeah, heck, the only reason I started giving out wrenches is because when I had Drawn and Quartered Fan Edition on here, people needed to put stuff in the chat, like links for, the straw poll and all that sort of stuff. And then it started me getting other wrenches.
The wrenches get passed out quite a bit around here. I get one. I don't even know what to do with it. I'm just like, okay, I got a wrench.
Yeah. Well, I know I've probably got about 10 wrenches out there. So, but if they want to put, I only want them, using it to time somebody out if they need to. If somebody's really acting up. Otherwise, don't use it for no good reason. If you use it for no good reason, I'll time you out. And of course, putting up links to people's YouTube and such like Joshua did. So we thank Joshua for doing that.
Josh knows what's going on. He appreciates the wrench. I kind of wish they were hammers, though. I like it when someone drops the hammer.
I know Bob the Pope, you really wanted a wrench for the longest time, and he's got one whenever he shows up. He hasn't showed up a lot lately. Bob, if you're listening to this, maybe you can show up tomorrow and give me an idea for Wednesday for the anime. Instead of me just going to looking what I want to do for what's popular, what's trending, like I have the last few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching the Infinity War game last night, and it's very frustrating to watch. It was very frustrating.
Yeah.
A lot of things I didn't like about it.
Yeah. For instance, the end.
I know what they're doing, but it's interesting. I'm excited to see the next one. See and see how it ties out.
I just think they should have saved the end for the first 5 minutes of the second one.
Yeah, I agree. I'm ready to see Adam Warlock. I want to see what they're going to do with him.
Yeah, if they bring him in.
Yeah, if they bring him in. I think they might have, I don't know, I'm just shooting him, but they might have replaced him with Captain Marvel, maybe. Maybe that was their intention. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you can't do it exactly like the comics because, they got so many less characters to work with, Yeah. Just like Civil War was completely different than the comic.
And I'm fine with that, but you got to have some characters that are going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Thanos. And Thor did. Thor pretty much almost killed him.
Yeah, well, Thor did kill him, except you should have went for what, the head or something like that, he said?
Yeah.
Or the arm.
He's got a pretty good recovery system, so he's able to recover from that. But yeah, he pretty much got. But correct me if I'm wrong. Stormbreaker, that's Beta Ray Bill's hammer, isn't it?
I'm not sure. It might end up going to him. Well, again, they don't have him in there, so they can do whatever the stink they want.
Yep, that would have been awesome. They would have brought him in there.
Yeah. Midnight Cherry says, I rewatched Ragnarok the other day. I like it on replay more and more.
Oh yeah,
I like
Ragnarok. So that's another thing. The Hulk was such a wimp in Infinity War, which he just come from Ragnarok, so he should have been a beast. And he just gets his butt handed to him, and he takes like a little girl and does not come out the rest of the movie. I was like, what in the world? That is not Hulk. Especially not World Hulk.
Joshua says Stormbreaker in Infinity War is basically the Infinity Hammer. Midnight says exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know totally. I've never heard of the Infinity Hammer. Is it actually a thing, or?
I don't know.
Midnight goes hashtag not my Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like Hulk would be more ticked off at having been beaten and, want to come out and beat the snot out of Thanos even more.
Oh, he got his butt whooped in Ragnarok too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, see, he thinks he thinks he won. It's hard to say who won. I think in Ragnarok that if what's his name hadn't injured that Thor would have handed Hulk his butt.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Oh, Pixel was in here for a second.
Well, the power that Thor, first of all, Thor took a neutron, was it a neutron star directly in the grill in Infinity War when he opened up the forge?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. If that's pretty daggone powerful. And yeah, Stormbreaker is Beta Ray Bill's hammer. So they ripped him off. Maybe he'll get it in the next one. Maybe we'll see him in the next one. But yeah,
we got Pixel in here now again.
Who wins?
Hey, Pixel.
Hey, sorry, I had a weird connection issue happen with my thing.
Okay. Midnight says, "Who wins in a frown off, Brie Larson or Mark Ruffalo?"
I don't know if it's a frown off as is resting bitch face. And I think Brie would win that hands down.
So what's up, Pixel?
Oh, there's Pixel.
Not much going on. Just got out of a meeting. Figured I'd pop in and see what's going on here. This is looking pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna finish up the rest of the Voltron later, another day. But I'm just sitting talking,
That's looking good though.
Thank you. I started it about a week or so ago. I got the sword started there, as you can see. I have to draw the one leg behind the sword.
Yeah.
And then erase it.
We're just discussing Infinity War, the movie, and how ridiculous it was.
Okay.
Which it was good, but there was some things I didn't like about it.
Yeah. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. I thought I was so pissed when they cut it. I knew they were going to cut it at that one point, but it's like, man, couldn't you have given us just a little bit more?
Which one? Which part?
Just the way they left it hanging, where everybody gets zapped or whatever and stuff. I really wanted to see more. Just everybody in the theater. I think a lot of people forgot that it was a two-parter. So when they cut to black and then started rolling credits, there was people in the crowd that were just going, no.
They must not watch many Marvel movies.
Yeah, I know.
They've got like 30 years.
They should have either done it one of two ways. Went 5 minutes longer, 5 or 10 minutes longer, or cut it off 5 minutes sooner.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I really did like the whole part with Fury though. That was pretty slick. I really liked how they played that out. I'm looking forward. Actually, to be honest, guys, I'm really looking forward to Captain Marvel, mostly just to see how they're going to get from point A to point B with all of this. I don't know. I know she's got the RBF going on, but I'm hoping they can at least salvage that movie somehow. I don't know.
I don't think it's going to be that much of a hit. I think it'll do fine. It'll do as well. It'll have to do better than Iron Man 3, obviously, but I just think it's going to be a lackluster movie. I don't think it's going to be anything spectacular. it'll carry the story along, or it won't. But it'll be just fine. It'll be lukewarm.
It'll tell you enough about Captain Marvel just to bring it into Infinity War.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm thinking that might be also. Then again, with it coming out so soon after too, you might have a appearance by Stan in Captain Marvel still.
True.
Maybe his last one, and maybe Infinity War. I mean Endgame, since it's coming out 2-3 weeks later. He might have done a film thing for it, a walk-on for that. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
If this movie is supposed to be pre-Infinity War, I don't know if it is or not, but if it is, I feel like they shouldn't. It should have came out before Infinity War. I don't know. Depends on how the story works.
Yeah, it's before Infinity War, Captain Marvel.
Well, see, I think more people are wanting to see the next Infinity War movie than they are wanting to see another tie-in movie before Infinity War.
Yeah. I'm sure what's going to happen. I mean, obviously, we know what's going to happen. They're going to give the backstory of how she got her powers, and how she became what she is, and how she met Fury, and that whole relationship started. And then it's going to end with her getting the page, probably.
Yep. And we're like, oh, okay, this is boring. I'm just wanting to see the next Infinity War. That's all I want to see. I could care less about anything else. I want to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Rick, I've got to take off, bud. I got to go get some things done. I don't want JP to shame me for not working hard enough. So.
Okay, we'll see you later.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Okay, ERT says there is a cameo of Stan in Endgame. Okay, so
yeah, he shot a bunch of cameo stuff like right towards the end. They like grouped it all together and had him shoot it all. So I wouldn't be surprised if they've got enough footage to be able to pop him into a bunch of different things for a while.
Yeah, they probably saw his health being downhill, and they probably took advantage of that to try to get as much as they could out of it.
Yeah.
Well, I was expecting, what's the name of him to be in, Captain Marvel, the fake Captain Marvel.
Fake Captain Marvel.
I can't wait to see the real Captain Marvel. And what even makes it better for me is the fact that it is partly filmed here in Hamilton. So, because I found out from the trailer.
Are they still getting those filming discounts for producing movies in Canada?
I think they are.
It's too expensive to do it elsewhere in America, or in the places they need to shoot anyway.
Trustee said Stan even had a cameo in The Princess Diaries too. I think I remember that too.
Oh.
I'm just more talking about the Marvel movies right now.
I'll just put it out there. My favorite Stan Lee cameo ever was in Mallrats.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys ever seen?
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones I remember from. I know he did the other ones like the TV series and stuff for Spider-Man and stuff, but out of all those movies, just him actually having to talk like the Thing's genitalia, like Jason Lee like going off about how all the superheroes like do their stuff. It was just really funny to see that. But I was a huge Stan Lee fan at that point, and that movie kind of changed my life. Even though Kevin Smith is totally like gone off the deep end with some of his stuff lately, I go back to those movies, and that was like my high school years. Kind of.
It's been so long. I don't even remember that movie. I mean, I remember it, but I don't remember pieces of it.
Yeah, I managed a video store during high school and part of college, and so that whole kind of Clerks thing, like that movie, totally spoke to me. And then I kind of followed his career for quite a while after that.
What did you think about Clerks 2?
I was thoroughly disappointed.
Yeah, I didn't really like it either. I think it was too long. It should have been black and white. It's too far out from the original. Of course, the Jason guy was completely sober, so that kind of ruined his character.
Oh, Muse, yeah.
But that's good that he's sober. But you can tell the difference in the character.
Oh yeah, totally.
But
I mean, Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back was pretty rough too, considering.
Yeah, it just I don't even remember that movie either. I remember the Scooby-Doo part in that movie, and that was it. That's all I remember.
But can you do the laugh?
No. Yeah. I sound like a giant Muppet baby. I can't do the voice.
Oh man, what stream was I on when I was doing? Oh, it wasn't this one, was it? It was. I was doing voices on some stream. What was across the stream, huh?
It was John Dillard, wasn't it? Or
yeah, that's right. It was Dillard's stream the other day. That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Whose kid was it? It was. Was it McCrank? No, it was.
It was the first pitcher guy. He was talking about his perspective issues.
Oh man, I cannot think who that was now.
It's
driving me crazy. Yeah, that was funny. Like after John left, we sat there and talked for like another hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, I think I stayed on that until it ended. That too, I believe.
Yeah, that was a good chat.
It was a good show, man. That was fun.
Yeah, for sure.
You was a good show.
A 4-year-old peanut gallery behind me.
Oh yeah,
critiquing me.
What show are you talking about, Daddy? Oh, don't do that.
I'll make you laugh.
Ooh, I think my package just arrived. Hell yeah.
Cool.
I've been waiting for this.
Is this going to turn into an unboxing video now?
This is going to turn into an unboxing video.
Well, that's if he shows the unboxing.
Yeah.
All your hats.
I might have to switch to my phone temporarily. I'll have to hold on to your hats, literally, because I think it's a hat.
I think it's a hat.
It should be a hat, unless something happened. I don't know what the quality's like yet.
Oh, did you order some custom stuff?
Yeah.
Nice. Pixel Trader finally got his package. Welcome to manhood.
No!
It comes DHL.
I'm a real boy.
Give a shotgun!
Don't remind me about DHL. Those guys are morons.
Well, the funny part is it did come DHL, and it actually managed to make it here. So, high five for me.
Yeah. I finally did get the package that John Dillard sent me, but it's crazy. They're here, and they don't even leave a notice that they're here. The only way I find out that they were here is because they called John.
Hey, John, we left the package.
Oh, Bobby, left the package on your doorstep.
And then they don't start telling him till like after Christmas.
Jeez.
Or maybe just before, I forget. And then
Hey, Daddy.
I had to call them twice
Son.
just to get them to send it somewhere where I could actually pick it up, because where they had it, there was no way that I could get to.
Nice.
I played this game before.
Well, I loaded 2 of them.
Needless to say, I became not too impressed by DHL.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks to get this package, and I didn't even know I had it waiting. For probably a week.
Oh,
And a half.
Did I get him?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's try not to dox myself here.
Yeah. Well, you got to show something to dox yourself. Besides your icon.
Well, I'm pulling out a Sharpie right now to do a little surgery on this box. Give me a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Sharpie to do surgery.
Basically, black out his address.
Oh, a little plastic surgery.
You know what I'm just going to do? I am just going to rip this label in half.
Well, how are we going to know where to send your Christmas cards?
I know. I'll get you that off the air here. This is kind of nice, though, because my birthday is tomorrow, so it's perfect.
Oh, nice.
Well, happy birthday.
Yeah. I won't be able to see you tomorrow, or talk to you, so happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, turning 40. Kind of scary there.
Oh, wow. My mom's birthday was last Thursday.
Ooh.
Oh. Did you take her out to eat there, Rick?
Yeah, we went out on Saturday because she had to eat she had to work Thursday night, so and we went to a place called The Works. It's a gourmet burger joint. Really good burgers.
Right on.
Nice.
And then we went to see Smallfoot.
Being a good son, I see.
Ooh,
I had already seen Smallfoot, but I really like Smallfoot. It was really good.
I'm gonna have to use my Christmas present to open this box.
We're a rifle cock chamber around.
Not quite, but
Being stubborn.
when I was a,
I was just saying about your birthday.
I have this thing for Batman, and my kid's hilarious. Got me this awesome little gift.
Happy birthday to the whomever birthday it is.
Oh, that would be Pixel.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's for my mom. She's
Aw.
listening out on the TV in the main room to the stream.
I will keep myself under control here so I don't accidentally say anything inappropriate.
Yeah, like me earlier.
Busted. Okay, hold on. Let me switch over to this other phone. Hopefully the lighting's okay in here. Dun, dun, dun.
ERT says, "Do you have a Batarang letter opener?"
Yes, except it's not a letter opener. It's an evil looking blade, and I am surprised that they even are able to sell this. That my kid actually bought it for me. That's the hilarious part here. This thing is lethal. Like I'm actually afraid to hold it too much.
He likes a sense of danger when he opens his mail.
Exactly. You know, I don't know if I'm going to get a finger missing or what here. Here we go.
Yes, using a Batarang to open a letter.
Okay. Because this thing is stupid sometimes. Let's block this.
Yeah.
I never understood why Hangouts on a phone insists on turning your camera on first. But it likes to turn your camera on and point it directly at you, even though you're telling it to turn the camera off. So,
Are we going to have 2 pixels in here?
you're going to have 2 pixels.
Means we just upgraded the visual aspect. You got 2
We
pixels.
just got double the pixels.
Yep, you got double the audio too. 1 second. There we go.
JP4 says, did someone say missing a finger?
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
had me at missing a finger.
Okay, let's turn the camera on and rotate.
Okay, let's...
Kick the other pixel.
No, don't kick the other pixel. Keep both of them on here. Okay, there we go. Is it
Okay,
working?
you are the one we are presenting, so...
Okay, so first up, I got to show this. So I wasn't kidding about the Batarang. This thing is ridiculous.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, it's like a
It's a
switch,
double blade, huh?
switchblade, Batarang.
Yeah, and it's kind of scary. Like, there we go. And then this side's a little harder to flip open, but it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's a pretty nasty knife.
Yeah, so hold on 1 second. Let me close this thing. I don't want to cut myself.
Looks like it could belong to a Klingon, too.
Yeah, the Bakla or whatever it is. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to hold this and cut a box open at the same time. So
So we get the blackness.
you get the blackness and the sound of the box being cut.
Opening soft. Do you want to play a game?
Okay, here we go.
Burning One says, dude, that thing looks dangerous to hold.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Trying to flip that thing open the first time, I'm like, what? How do I do this? And then it popped open on me.
Almost cut your finger off.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's just hide the screen here for a minute while I grab this piece of paper. Yeah, we don't want to show that. Okay, let's get that.
Yeah, don't need you to dox yourself. Joshua says they should make a letter opener out of the knife that Thanos gave Gamora.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of when he flipped it open. It looked like the knife that Gamora had.
All right, hold on. And this is a flex fit hat, so it doesn't have the snapback on it. It's just a standard flex fit. And
Yeah.
Oh, Indycron hat. Cool.
Yeah.
The unveiling of the Indycron hat.
I don't like the lettering at the bottom here. I'm going to have to make that larger. It looks like it's a little messy.
Does that say in comics?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a little too small, I think. I'm going to have to fix that.
I think you're right. Still, that's a clean looking hat, though. I like that.
Yeah. So, another exclusive. You get the first look at the merchandise.
Exactly. All right, now I'm going to close this down here. Stop.
Or actually, I'm not sure whether it's Indycron, but the Indycron label for comic books.
Yeah, so in comics is what we're calling our label. So it's a separate entity from Indycron, but we're using the N logo basically. So that's a little bit of a bummer though that the text looks the way it does. I guess it's just a little too small. I'm gonna have to try to tweak that.
Yeah, before you get a whole bunch of them and sell them.
Yeah. Well, so the nice thing about this is we've got a store set up, and it drop ships through a company called Printful. So they do on-demand printing of shirts, hats, and everything. So it's all done that way. So we don't have to hold any stock. It's just done at like real time, basically.
Cool. Who do you go through? I know TVS has what's the name? Crypto.
Yeah. No, we're doing it. So Printful is the name of the company. They've printed I think it's like 6 million shirts over the past however many years. So they're a full service shop. They do hats, beanies, all kind like shirts, hoodies, pretty much everything. And it's all print on demand. And they also do embroidery like this. So I've set up a store, just a test store, which I'm going to move to a different server because our server is a little too slow to run it. And so I'm going to set that up. And once everything is ready to go there, we're going to go to the public and let everybody have access to it and check it out and do their thing.
What are the prices like?
This hat was $20. I can actually, so the price for the embroidery and all that with a standard fee, I think it's like $16 for their product fee for the actual piece and everything else. And so if we don't make any money on it, I can sell it for like 17 plus shipping. If we want to make just a little bit of cash on the side to help support stuff for the site and things like that, I'll probably charge like $19.95, something like that. And then it's we'll make $3 on the sale.
Yeah, that's still cheaper than going to the store and buying a hat. Most of those flex fit hats are like $27.
Yeah, so I'm trying to decide where the sweet spot for the pricing is. I haven't quite.
How much was the shipping for you?
So because I'm in California, my tax was $1.55, and then my shipping and handling was $3.43. So my grand total is $25 after shipping and tax.
And how many hats did you get?
I just got the one hat.
Just the one?
Yeah.
I just have asked because I might go through, depending on the prices, I might go through. $20 isn't too bad.
No.
Yeah. The interesting thing with Printful is you don't get your own storefront. You have to set up your own storefront. You can order stock for yourself through them, but if you want to actually have a storefront, you need to use either a third-party service like Etsy. One of those what we're using is WooCommerce, but WooCommerce is a plugin for WordPress. Mm-hmm. So I set up a WordPress server, then used the WooCommerce theme, and built a whole storefront, and then I'm hosting that locally. So I don't have any charges or anything that I have to pay for all this other stuff, but I do have Stripe. Yeah. So Stripe takes a fee when they process the sale, and then these guys take their fees. There's a little less than $3 I think I made on the total sale, but I mean it's.
I'm just trying to think whether I could do that set up the store through my for that sort of stuff.
You totally could. Yeah, you totally could.
What I mean is I have my own website for my comics and stuff, so just setting up the product store through that instead of going to some other third-party website or whatever.
Yeah, well, so I host everything myself, but it uses, like I said, it uses Stripe and PayPal for payment processing, and then it uses Printful for the actual fulfillment. So when they order from our site, the order gets processed and sent directly to Printful. Printful then does their whole thing where it processes the order, does all the shipping, pulling, and everything, and then ships it out from there. So we never have to touch it after the point of sale. And we don't store any of the customer information or anything like that.
Yeah. I get you.
But,
Yeah, I was just, be neat to have it right from our website. That way they wouldn't have to go to anywhere and all that.
Oh, yeah, totally. That's the reason that I set this up too.
And I have PayPal, so they can pay through PayPal. So.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you could set up your own stuff and actually hold stock at your house and just buy everything directly from them, but then you have to put out all your money up front to be able to get the stock in.
Yeah, well, at first I wouldn't do that because I can't afford to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it really depends. So like this, I don't have to hold any stock. I don't have to worry about not being able to sell certain sizes or anything. I can just do this. And so I think we'll probably just stick with this because I don't have the time to manage shipping and handling people's billing and getting all that kind of stuff out. I just want to be able to make a product and let them have it. So
the only way I say you go the other way is like when you're doing your your Indiegogo. That's when you get product because then you send a T-shirt with something,
Oh yeah. In that particular case too, you're not going to want to use a service like this directly. What you're going to do is probably contract you could use the same company and they might give you better bulk rates, right? So if you have to print out like 200 shirts or something, then you would do it at that time. Like the one-off items like this usually cost more because of the print run. They don't know how many items you're going to print. They're not going to give you a bulk discount. But if you're putting enough product through their system at one time, they'll obviously give you a little bit of a nice kickback. Yeah. But yeah, this was mostly a test.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking at different ways. Like, we have the donation thing on the site, which I think is nice. And a few people have signed up for subscriptions to donate and help us out. But I was trying to think of a way that I could give somebody something back for donating. And while we don't make nearly as much money from their giving, X amount, they get a product out of it. And I think that's kind of cool.
Who doesn't like a hat?
Exactly. Well, apparently Jean-Luc doesn't like it. So the French are totally not into hats.
Well, they're too vain about their own hair.
Apparently. Yeah.
Well, they got the different type of hat. They don't have the baseball hat. They
you should get you some red
fluffy hat.
Get you some Indicron berets.
Yeah. I'll have to find one. I wonder if they make those. That'd be awesome. I'd totally get them an Indicron beret and mail it to them.
Ooh la la. Okay, that was very.
This is a wonderful hat.
We give up. No.
Daddy,
It's a wonderful hat.
I put a foot name.
Put a foot date.
Fortnite.
What are you doing? Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Oh, I just.
No, you're gonna
winner chicken dinner.
phone infected with something.
Actually, it's a winner royale, right? From
Chronos says no. The French are into wasp, yellow jacket.
They're into high visibility blazers.
Yeah.
ERT says French rock berets, raspberry beret.
Hey, Kronos, hit me up either in DM or through Discord. I want to chat with you about something. When you get a chance.
Well, it is like 2:15, and I'm done drawing for the day. So I think I'm going to end the stream for now. But Pixel, you want to show yourself there? Tell everybody where they can find you.
Sure. Well, Indicron.com is where I'm doing most of my stuff right now. But you can also find us on Twitter at Indicron, INDIECRON. Also, Twitter if you want to come check me out, Pixel Trader, PIXELTRAITOR. And I'll probably reply to you once I get time to speak to anybody. Been really busy.
Cool. Oh, we got Good Dog in the chat. Hey, Good Dog, Manny.
Good dog.
I don't know what he's doing here. Maybe he's on lunch breaking out of his car or something. Anyways, you want to show for yourself there, Kevin?
Of course. You can find me on Twitter at Apollo Novel or Kevin Stewart or Stu the 62.
Cool. And you got your Apollo thing coming up in a few months again, right?
Yep, I will be relaunching the Apollo Chariot of the Gods Indiegogo campaign in April. So I'll be going through IndieCron once again. And yeah, hopefully this will be a success. So unfortunately, I had to raise my prices a little bit because apparently I didn't do the numbers well enough. So, but it's just to be manageable. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of you. It sounds like relaunching in April.
It'll probably be the best time. Everybody's got their income tax and a little more willing to invest in stuff like that. Hopefully.
Yeah. And of course, I am Rick Piper of Cross Comics. You can find me here daily at noon with who knows who, a whole host of different people. Come on the panel, and I'm drawing something usually. And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as well, and DeviantArt. All those links are in the chat. I will get their links in the chat as well to their YouTube channels at least. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you all later. Have a great and wonderful day.
All right, buddy. See you guys.
Thanks.